our city center, and through conversations with property owners, we understand there is an extreme desire for the community to have an investment into our city center. Because of this, we will be asking the City of Waterloo for a dollar for dollar match of the funds generated by SMID. I'll go into a little bit more details in a couple of slides, but I wanted to make sure I stated that before I get into the number slides here. So as we take both the SMID dollars and the potential city match dollars into consideration, I want to walk you through. It's not. Let me push the right buttons here. Sorry about that.
It's going to be going backwards.
There we go. No, I went too far. Okay, so as we take both of those dollars into account, I want to walk you through some examples and kind of talk about how those dollars are going to be spent. So the first strategy is really looking at that branding and marketing of downtown. This is not marketing our events. This is not marketing Main Street Waterloo. This is marketing downtown. Think of those destination commercials you see for states and large cities. We want to do that specifically for downtown to showcase what we have to offer and really attract people to visit, to live, to work, to open a business, to just want to be a part of our community center. This is going to be, a lifestyle base to build a strong brand awareness of downtown, encouraging and embracing the live, work, play tagline. Development of the content marketing efforts will include content creation, print, radio, television, digital marketing, potentially a mobile app, and downtown maps. The second strategy is more the beautification and placemaking strategy. So we've made significant progress in downtown, but there's still much to do. Focusing our attention on making downtown feel more walkable, bikeable, safer to build up the core of our community. Things that will fall into this category are things like a facade and grant program, lighting, wayfinding, directory kiosks. Many of these projects are really truly going to be in partnership with the city, but let us take that heavy lift off of the city's plate while you guys work on those larger projects, and we'll concentrate on the downtown projects. The third strategy is economic development. So providing resources for sustainable economic development, specific business recruitment efforts with reports and marketing to demonstrate the value of SMID and why you should open your business in downtown Waterloo versus another community or area within Waterloo. We plan to put together a business incentive program. Small businesses are really looking for help. We've got a lot of incentives for a larger business in those big projects, but not a lot for those small businesses. So we want to put together a small business incentive program to help them get started and really help encourage them to choose downtown Waterloo. So right now, we are in the petition process. I have included a timeline. I think it's one of the last pages in the packets I gave you guys, so you have an idea with some more specific dates. But we are currently in the process of petitioning property owners, and as we're asking them to sign the petition in support of SMID. So to be able to even submit this to the city, we have to have 25% of the property owners in the district sign in support and 25% of the property owners that represent 25% of the assessed value. After conversations with our feasibility study we did in 2020, we have set a goal for ourselves as Main Street to get 76% sign in support of this. We will be having everything submitted no later than February 15th so that we can continue the process and have plenty of time to get things put into the systems and budgeting processes too. So once everything is submitted, it's going to go to Planning and Zoning Commission, and they will review everything and make a recommendation to City Council. City Council will then set the date of public hearing and go through all of your lovely processes and hold the 3 readings and, thinking positively, pass the ordinance to implement SMID. Payment, I mentioned, because we've delayed our timeline, the first payment for SMID and the potential city match won't come until September 2024 with the second payment of March 2025. So there's time to plan for this. And then why we're all here is my ask to the City of Waterloo. And Main Street Waterloo is asking for the city to provide provide additional resources to leverage our dollars forward for the forward progress of downtown Waterloo, Just think how much farther our dollars will go. Rather than having $177,000 to complete a project or be a potential grant, we could have $354,000 to complete a project or put that down as a 25% grant match for a potential $1.4 million project. This is going to make a significant impact into downtown Waterloo. We're all moving in the same direction, and we're just looking to leverage the dollars to make those things happen faster. We want everybody to know that downtown Waterloo is the amazing place that we all know it can be and is. So how do you measure the success? We'll be able to show it through increased building occupancy, increased property valuations, increased number of properties, and the additional sales tax revenue that'll be generated by bringing those more visitors to our downtown. And I'm sure there's questions.
Mr. Mayor. Yes, sir. Couple of questions, Jessica. From a standpoint of, I remember when I first got on council, SMID was brought up in those things, and one of the issues was actually support from the business owners. And I don't know if that's when it died because there wasn't support from that standpoint. And, I'm sure that that's something that you're going to be looking into. But then I heard a dollar amount, $177,000. That's what you're looking at from the city itself. Okay, that is a lot of money. And I guess my question is, other cities, do you have any information as far as other cities and what they're doing with SMID and that type of thing? As far as that information, do you have that?
There are many cities in the state of Iowa, and then in other states it might be called a bid, that have a SMID or bid. We would be the first ones to include this city match. And there's other communities that get dollars from their city to be able to do projects and leverage their dollars. We are going to be unique, and we want to tie this to SMID so we can leverage those dollars to be able to do larger projects and move us forward at a faster pace than if we weren't asking for that city match.
So this would be something that you wouldn't have any data as far as other cities or anything. We would be the first that would be doing this.
We would be the first that are matching the city match with the SMID dollars.
Okay, thank you.
But as your question about business support, this is the farthest we've been in the process implementing SMID. And we did a feasibility study in 2020, and the overwhelming response was that the business owners are in support of us implementing a SMID. That's much better place than we were years ago, 10, 15 years ago. The property owners are seeing the value of what those SMID dollars can do and the impact that investment can make into our downtown, drawing in the additional businesses, drawing in the customers, and creating that sales tax revenue and that excitement engagement in our community.
And I had to ask that question because I know, like I say, it hasn't been 15, 20 years. It's only been about 7.
Yes.
But that was a question I felt I needed to ask. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor? Yes, sir. When we had our meeting, you mentioned that the city match was going to come out of TIF.
I don't think I don't have all of the data and access to all of the financials to know where those dollars are going to come from. I would like to sit down and work with you to figure that out, but I don't think I can dictate to you where those dollars are coming from.
Because we talked 150,000, now it's 177.
We were estimating at that 150,000, so the 177 is the actual value, is where we're sitting at right now.
Now through a petition process, you need 25%. Could you not get 25% if JSA signed on? I mean, they pretty much have a ton of property downtown in that Schmidt district.
They do. That particular property owner does own the 25% of the parcels, definitely. We have a significant number of large property owners who would like to see this backing from the city, this commitment from the city with the city match. And they would they're waiting to see what your guys' conversation and decisions are, that we've got other property owners that are holding off on signing until they all see what's going to happen and what other property owners are doing. So it's definitely going to impact what we can get for the percentages.
And then your 60,000 is on top of the 177.
Yes, our professional service agreement is different from, I think I flew right by the specific asks, I apologize. Our professional service agreement is separate from this. That is going to continue to go towards our operational costs and what it has been going towards since we became a Main Street program and have had the agreement with the city. These are specific dollars being reinvested into downtown that aren't going to go towards our operational costs that are going to do those beautification projects, that economic development specifically.
And the SMID would be assessed to any property, whether it's vacant or occupied.
Yes. And it's commercial and industrial only is the numbers we put in there.
Okay. And then you're asking for us to add on top of that $177,644 a year for our building over there on 3rd Street in Jefferson.
I'm asking you to sign the petition in support for the property that you guys own. I believe in the development agreement, there's a statement as to who pays those property taxes, whether it's you or the tenant. And I have to ask you as the property owner to sign the petition.
Because it's based on the assessed value.
Correct.
And it's assessed at $322,000, which, okay, that's all I have, sir.
I don't know. I think really quickly, I think where the actual allocation for Main Street came in was when there was a loss of the SMID. The city stepped in to make sure that there were some operational funds for our Main Street. So I think we were at 20, then 40, and then like 2 years ago we upped it to 60, and so that's where it is because the SMID was no longer Mr. Sir Childs.
Long day, I know. Thank you for this presentation. It takes a lot of oomph to be able to come in front of the city council and ask for a significant chunk of change. The only thing that I would like to say is I support Main Street 100%. I think Main Street has done so many great things downtown and has really begun that process of revitalizing, transforming our downtown. My only concern, and we spoke about this one-on-one, is if we're allocating a large amount of money, I would like to see council have a voting position on this committee. If we're giving that a number of dollars, I would like to see someone on the council to have that voting position because we are giving so much money. I'll say that I am thankful for you being here and for all that you guys have done.
I can't stand up
Of
here
course.
and make that promise to you, but I can definitely take it to the board. And I mean, I potentially don't see any issues with that, but we can definitely have a board vote if this goes forward. So just to real quick refresh, since I skipped past the slide quickly, the asks, there's 3 asks. We are asking for that $177,000, I don't have the number right in front of me, I turned my page, city match, that dollar for dollar match for the SMID dollars, and that is on top of our professional service agreement. And then we're asking the city council vote and make a statement of support that Main Street Waterloo is moving forward in the SMID process and petitioning the property owners with a statement about what that city contribution would be. And then asking the city to sign the petition in support of that parcel, which is the public market parcel building. My ask would be that you guys have some discussions and we can do this at the next city council meeting.
One question if everyone's done.
Yeah, I got one after you.
Go ahead.
No, I need to write it down.
Mr. Mayor, just real quick
ahead.
before,
Apologize.
that 177 plus, is that figure going to stay the same or is it going to change based on assessed value every time the county does a change in the assessed value?
Technically, it would change every year with the assessed value that the county does. So it would be, it's not going to stay $177,352.72 for 5 years.
Okay.
And that was my concern too. Thank you for bringing that up because that's going to change. It's going to change based on assessed value. It's going to change based on if someone does work on buildings and remodels and increases on any given site down there. So it's going to be a fluid thing that's going to be on our budget each year. And then I'm working on this. Is there going to be written in a sunset clause? You said it's coming back in 5 years. So is that the agreement's going to have a sunset clause in it?
Correct. So we would have, if this goes forward, obviously, we would have a separate agreement outside of SMID for that city match, and we would tie it directly to SMID, so it's that same sunset period that can then be evaluated and when we go to do the renewal in 5 years. In your guys' timeline, I did put that I'll do annual presentations specifically on SMID and how those dollars are being spent and how things are happening. And then we would, after the year 4 presentation, we would start those conversations to see how you feel that city match is going as we start to petition for the renewal of the SMID.
And what happens if a property owner doesn't want to participate in SMID?
If the percentage signs on in support and the SMID is implemented, everyone within the district will be paying towards that SMID.
Whether they agree to it or not?
Yes.
That's all I have, sir.
Just a good question. So within the allocation, Main Street or SMID, who's going to be negotiating the economic development deals?
I think that's a partnership with the city. You guys do a great job with economic development. We're focusing on those smaller ones that are specifically in downtown. So we can start some of those conversations, get some of the stuff flushed out before it comes to you guys.
And so would there no longer be an expectation that the city work on behalf of some of those deals since the 177 is going towards the SMID?
I'm sorry, what was,
So if the city is given $177,000, the question is the dollars to be used to structure economic development deals, there would still be an expectation that the city participate in some of those deals as well, or is that?
I think if there's some conversations where there's some asks of the city, then yes. If there's something, if we can do it on our own, it would come out of that funding.
And then as far as the city giving half the dollar and council only having one vote, because it's no longer all self-supporting, it's self and municipal supporting, is there any conversation about having more voting authority as a city council?
So more than the one that John was requesting?
Because it's half the money of the overall SMID.
And that's definitely something we can discuss. I can't make any promises standing up here by myself. I do have to take that to the board of directors, but it's definitely something that can be on the table.
All right.
Mr. Mayor.
Sir.
Jessica, you said that in order for the SMID to pass, it had to be 25%, but you were shooting for a higher goal, and that was
76% in each bucket,
76%?
because then it doesn't take a unanimous city council vote to pass. If we get 76, plus it shows the agreement and the support from the property owners to want to participate in this.
Okay. So that's like a goal. It's not going to be a hard line.
It's
you
a
won't
goal,
go through.
yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, sorry.
Sir.
If you don't get, sorry, I was writing something down. If you do not get the 76%, does the full council have to approve it if it's the lesser amount, the 25%?
It would have to be a unanimous vote, I believe,
From the city council?
from the city council.
Okay, but it doesn't if you meet that higher goal?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Is it supermajority? Okay.
Yeah, unanimous is
So-
pretty insane.
Sorry. Lots of things in my head right now.
Council, any other questions at this moment? A lot of discussion still, but thank you for the presentation. Come a long way in comparison to previous conversations about whether it will happen. So we're at a very critical juncture right now. So we look forward to this coming to the agenda and council deliberating on the dredger. So thank you. Any other questions? All right. Motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion been made. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Thank you.